like that though, because I know you just take photos and shoot content, and do you just turn that over to Dan, or how does that work? Like, or do you edit your own content, or do you give it to someone?
So I shoot video and photos. It was more photos, now it's more video. I have to shoot one Powell Peralta ad a month. So I try to concentrate on that, and then we're working on this Thrasher edit, so I've just been more filming video to try to get this edit out as well.
And one thing, with Thrasher too, how did the skate community, especially you guys, we just lost Jake Phelps, not too long ago. What has there been any like major shift change at Thrasher since he passed on and they got their new editor?
Well, I always dealt with Burnett mostly.
Oh, okay.
It would be Phelps. Sometimes I'll go out to SF and talk to him, but it was always
brief.
Yeah, I would just be talking to him.
Yeah. And is Tommy still there?
I don't.
Tommy Guerrero?
I don't know. I think he was more Real and than Thrasher.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he ever worked at Thrash. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, there we go. More questions to be answered. But, I just want to remind everybody, we are out here on KQBH-LP, Los Angeles, California, 101.5 FM, a community service of Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory, broadcasting live on your FM dial and streaming on lpfm.la. I am here today with my guest, Deville Nunes, and we are just out here getting in the core of the skate and just talking about the Powell Peralta, the $110,000 lawsuit, that was wild, but we just had a great experience that he just shared. And we're gonna keep diving in here, guys. If you're still rocking with us or you're just tuning in, this is LA Lifestyle. I am your host, PBP, and I am here today with my guest. And if you just want to touch too on I guess I had a question in my head, and I guess I'm gonna answer it or ask it. What is your favorite spot to skate in the world?
A mini ramp, 4-foot mini ramp.
4-foot mini ramp?
With a spine and a hip, yeah. But I haven't been skating that lately. I've just been going skating the vert ramp.
So it doesn't matter where it's at, just a little 4-foot, little mini ramp.
Yeah.
And why a mini ramp though?
That's kind of what I grew up trying to find, skate. Yeah, had one in my backyard. Saw that in the videos. That's why I wanted to skate.
Yeah, and with the mini ramps too, like I've seen some pretty impressive mini ramps in some backyards. Some dads getting pretty creative. What's been the most impressive mini ramp you've ever seen?
Most impressive mini ramp that I've ever seen. There was one in England that was really super fun at Rumford Skate Park. There's a little red metal one that we used to love to skate.
Metal. How that probably felt great when it's all hot when you'd slide down
it. That does get kind of gnarly.
There was park over in Norwalk. I remember that's probably where I reside, over in Norwalk. We had the metal skate ramps and over there, but they shut that down actually. They shut that park down.
That sucks.
I don't know why, but that was the only metal skate park or metal ramps I've ever skated in my life. So this is over in England, you said?
Yeah. Well, I mean, England's always raining, so metal would just hold up better. We just got used to and knew how it slid, so metal was like fun for us to skate.
Yeah, power slides and whatnot and stuff like that. And with the skate scene in the right now with everything, where do you see it like really going? Do you think it's continuing to grow? Do you think it's stagnant? Do you think it's just gotten to a point where it's like, okay, skateboarding's a thing? I mean, it's an Olympic sport now. So do you think it's still has more potential to be on a bigger, just a bigger platform, just a bigger dynamic?
It seems like there's skate parks popping up all the time. Now with the Olympics, other countries are coming in. The Japanese are just killing it.
Yeah.
It was Brazil, now it's Japan. It looks like the Olympics is opening it up to the whole world.
Yeah, and I saw too, I just saw a video, I think Tony Hawk had posted it over in Uganda. There's skate parks popping up over in Uganda and Kenya. Is there any, what's the skate scene like over in South Africa even? Because I know you said you were born over there. Is there a good skate scene over there or a good culture at all?
I went back 10 years ago and went to a skate park, but I haven't been back so much to just be able to answer that.
Do you ever, think about doing something like that and, all the places you've lived where maybe the skate community or the skate scene isn't really, what it needs to be? Have you ever considered going back and doing some programs to get some parks built or anything like that? Or are you involved with something like that already?
When we lived in Redding, my mom was really into that. She helped contact the council.
Redding, California?
No, sorry, Redding, England.
Oh.
and got a mini a pretty big mini ramp built there at the YMCA.
That's good.
Yeah, I remember that was a lot of work. Just
Yeah.
To get
Well,
that done.
I mean, even where I'm from too, I mean, it's been in the talk for 15 to 20 years. But in my little small hometown of Point Rita, California, up in Mendocino County, we have been trying to build a skate park there for 20 years.
It's so
20 years. At one point, Tony got involved with it. Tony Hawk got involved with it.
Really?
Yeah, well, it was weird because we had a skate shop in Point Arena, but we had nothing to skate. So we would meet up after school and we would just go in front of the skate shop and we would just do kick flips or just little wall rides or whatever. Or they had the little platform inside the skate shop. You could ollie up, board slide, tail slide, 5-0. But we've never, it's all dirt up there. So that was the only time we would just go down in the little town of 500 and then be like, yeah, we're going to get this skate park. We're like 13, right? I'm 27 now. And that skate park isn't built. But what was really cool, though, is I've got a couple good friends that actually built some skate ramps in their backyards right in the heart of like where we were living. Obviously, landlords shut it down. Didn't last that long, but everybody has made a very gallant effort, like to a point where even there's a pier and a cove down there, and there's an old concrete slab up on the top on the side of the hill, and you just DIY spot, and people started building. City came in, teared it down, and it's like, don't you see us like trying to get something going here? And that's the sad part too, is like skateboarding can be pretty beneficial to a lot of people. Like, I've met a lot of people that said it's helped them, it's healed them. If they're not on their skateboard, they don't feel right. Like, how do you feel when you don't have your camera or you're not skating? Do you feel out of place? Do you find a balance in chi when you're on your board or you're taking video?
100%.
Yeah.
Well, skateboarding definitely. If I go skate twice a week, 3 times a week, it's just a better week.
And one thing I am going to do, because I do know that you do this on your Instagram page. Who's your favorite skater? Who's your favorite skater?
Well, it was Daewon Song, but he tried to steal John Bradford, so he went to number 2, and now Brendan Westgate's the number 1.
Yeah.
But more recently, I've been thinking, you know what? I might push Brendan Westgate down a little bit because Ray Barbie was really inspirational for me in 89 public domain.
Yeah.
So Ray Barbie might be number 1, then Westgate, and then Daewon Song.
Okay, for sure. I had to ask you. I love those videos you post on your page. It's great. And then you get a bunch of like random people too. I think there was a kid over in England or something you had asked.
Yeah, he was pretty funny.
Yeah, you were like, what's his ad or something like that.
Because their accents sound so sick.
Yeah. And so with that though too, with content for you, when you shoot a piece of content, what is it you're really looking for, like, to make the deciding, like, final edit? Like, what is it about your shot that makes the edit?
For, like, a Thrasher video?
Or just a video or a photo? Like, what is it, like, what does that photo or that video have to say or speak to you? Like, what is the final decision to put it into, like, the final edit?
So, it was about the gnarliest, crazy thing. And I would keep giving in photos to Burnett, and Burnett's like, I don't know what to do with these photos. These are like guys that I've never heard of. I'm going to start this thing called the Lunatic Fringe. It'll be a 4 to 6-page thing of just these no-name guys that are just doing the craziest stuff. But now it's more, I think Dan explained it. It's like for it to be shocking, maybe it's something that might go viral. And it doesn't have to be a 50 stairs. It could be something that like, whatever, some crazy flip trick into a ledge, but it's just shocking, new, that people...
Like something you've never seen before.
Yeah.
So that was called the...
Innovative.
Lunatic?
Well, the Lunatic Fringe was just something, like, it was just something gnarly of, like, one guy.
Yeah.
So, like, I think the first one was Justin Figueroa. It was just, he was doing, like, a nose grind down a 21 stair and, like, crazy-ass tray flip down the biggest set. And it was just an article to show these guys, like, oh, these guys are lunatics, whatever. So... Burnett started that about 15 years ago.
And one thing too with lunatics, and I think it was last month or 2 months ago. Did you see the article or you see the cat that that they featured on Thrasher? His name was Tommy, and he tried to do that gap.
Oh yeah, that was a lunatic. Was that a Lunatic Fringe?
I'm not sure if it was Lunatic Fringe, but I know that guy.
Do you?
I've skated with him.
Ugh.
He took me to a DIY spot up in Altadena, and that happened like 2-3 months later. and my good buddy, shout out Efren, we were just at Mayberry one day, and I just pulled up. Like, I don't skate every day. I just get out when I can. And I rolled over, I sat down, and he was like, dude, did you hear what happened to Tommy? I was like, no, he probably did something gnarly, right? He's like, oh, he's in the hospital. And he had the video at the time. It wasn't released yet. And when I saw that thing, I was like, does he not? Like, when I watch this guy skate, it's absolutely insane. And he's just a Whittier legend. So that's, I wanted to bring that one up just in terms of like the lunatic. Like, that was lucky to be alive. And then 3 months later, he's up at the Uptown Whittier skate park
Skating?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
He's already skating again. I saw him the other day.
Sounds like you got to interview him.
Yeah, no, we're going to get him on eventually. It's just kind of, he's more of a really rugged underground type guy, you know? Like, it's like getting him out here on this platform would be a little like niche almost, you know? Like, he is who he is. But I respect him, man, because I mean, he's going to do shit that no one else is going to do, you know? So, but shout out to Tommy, though, man. I'm glad that you recovered, and I am glad that you are okay, and you're skating again, too. So, I mean, that's not a lot of people even, I mean, no, 3 months. That's why me and all my buddies, you're like, he's already on a board again? Like, I was sitting there, like, I almost was like, do I just get rid of the skateboard? Like,
what did he break? Like,
he pretty much just messed himself up pretty good. I mean, I don't know the specifics of it, like, but he was messed up. I mean, to take a fall like that and a slam like that and like be back on your feet in 3 months and especially be on a skateboard again. And of course, doctors, never skateboard again. You know, I got in a motorcycle accident when I was 17. They told me the same thing. Never ride a bike or a motorcycle again. That didn't stop me. I went to race motocross after from 18 to 21. So, you know, it didn't have a harpoon effect on me. But with some of those shots though, so you said they're no-name guys, right? Is that what you?
Well, just not like really famous guys.
Okay.
Obviously they have names, but just not guys that are just, you know.
Yeah. So have you ever though just come up across like a group of skaters and they're just doing some gnarly stuff? And you're like, oh, I'm gonna get some shots. Have people like that ever made it on that section, or do you ever submit photos of just random people you don't even like know or you just see skating?
Definitely back in the day, I would just be hitting up anybody. Like 20 years ago, I'd just, whoever it was, like, oh, you want to do this? Let's go.
And when it comes now too, especially down to like shooting content and everything, like who do you? Obviously, you have the Powell Peralta team, but do you ever like branch out to like other brands? Or try to collaborate with people? Like, say you want to go work with the DC team or the Etnies team. Do you guys do any collaboration at all?
No, Dan and Nigel do that, but no, I'm mostly just focused on the Powell Peralta guys.
Yeah,
I got my hands so full with just those guys.
And how many people do you manage?
I think on the team page it's like 35, maybe another 10, 15 in my phone.
So you're just, like you said, you're just a babysitter.
On trips for sure, or organize, you know, twice a week to get them out.
Yeah,
skating, shooting.
And have you had any, say, you know, team members or skaters that you guys have signed or sponsored, who have just been like a regret?
Yes, but I can't really mention their names because it wouldn't be.
That's all good, but just maybe
I wouldn't say regret, but just after a while, they're just like, you're just like, holy crap, you're such a handful. Like, you did this, that. Like, it's never just one thing to get kicked off. It's a multiple things. You know?
And usually it has to be something pretty extreme because, you know, you told me the lawsuit story. You're all playing with homies' puke.
Well, extreme, or he just doesn't fit, or maybe just the guys are all complaining about him, or, you know, he's done something to maybe multiple team rider, you know. It's
just like personal beef within the team kind of thing.
Yeah, or if they're just a shitty person.
Yeah. and like, just for that, it seems like you've had a couple of shitty experiences, so we'll leave it at that. But with even with that though, like, what goes?
Actually, there's one guy I had to kick off, who I really like, and
are you still friends with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, if I see him, you know, and so we were in the van. We're on a trip. I forget where we were. And the CEO, Micaiah Furukawa, is driving. Who's the CEO's son, and a super mellow kid. And we get pulled over. And the kid in the back has like a whole, I don't know, 8-ball of cocaine or half an ounce. And he's stuffing it down the van to hide it. And this whole time he's doing cocaine with another rider's dad. whose kid is in the van, who's super young, and I don't know if anybody else was.
So you get pulled over. You got a bag of chotch.
Yep.
He's doing it with a team rider's dad. There's a kid in the van,
Mm-hmm.
and he's trying to stuff the
hide
chotch
it.
in the just what, in a side compartment, peel it back,
Yep.
shove it in. Okay, continue with this one. I gotta hear this.
And so, of course, I never find out about it immediately. I'm like the team manager, the boss, whatever. And so the guys always tell me later. And so
Of course,
I find out about this.
Yeah.
And then one guy kind of hints about it. So I basically just call another guy, be like, hey, this guy told me this. And then that guy tells me, reverse psychology, whatever. And then eventually I'm just like, okay, so now he's on trips, he's doing coke. And so I tell the brand manager.
Yeah.
And Billy's just like, dude, you gotta let him go, man. You can't just bring hard drugs on trips. And this kid also got hurt, hasn't been skating for like a year and a half, and now he's pulling this stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm giving you so many chances. Like, come on, I really want.
And where was this at? Was this California? Or?
No, we're probably crossing borders. I have no idea. I forget.
God.
We did this 5-state tour. We're in between tours. We're driving from one city to the other.
And this guy's just yacked out.
Yeah, and he's just doing this.
How do you even skate on that stuff? Because from past experience with that, I become immobile almost.
Really?
Yeah, I get active. I get, amped up from that, but it's I'm not let's get on a skateboard and go and do stuff, because for me, I did learn my lesson, and I will say this, a night in Santa Cruz, we were at UCSC, my buddy, we were freshmen, hanging out with this girl, trying to impress her, right? Both fighting for her type thing, right? Yeah. So we have this hill behind our dorm, and I was like, all right, let's go bomb that hill, right?
Yeah.
Get all worked up. Well, for me, for some reason, I don't know why, I go down the hill. Okay, I stop, get off my board, and I look at my board, and I just push it. I just kick it in front of me. Well, he's coming down the hill. Speed wobbles. Gets wheel bite, and then there's this, it's like a septic, metal grade thing, on the asphalt. Wheel catches that and throws him, and he falls, and he hits the back of his head on the ground.
Ouch.
And that's when I learned you don't do that stuff in skateboard. Because people can potentially lose their life. And he was good. We carried him upstairs and got him in the shower. But we lived on the 4th floor, too. And the elevators weren't working. So we had to carry him up the stairs. And it was me. And this little Filipino girl, mind you. She's 5'2", doesn't even weigh 100 pounds. And I'm skinny myself and not too strong at the time. So, we're having to drag this 200-pound man up the stairs. Yep. He's, in and out of a blackout. It was terrible.
Sounds like you should take him to the hospital.
Oh, we did. We took him the next morning, but we were on a bunch of stuff, so it was we weren't just gonna show up at Dominican what's up, So, yeah, but that's unfortunate though. I mean, did he get the help he needed? Does he still struggle with that, or?
I don't know if he still struggles with that. It seems like he's better with it. I've kind of lost communication with him after that.
Yeah.
He was kind of bummed when I let him go, but then he did hit me up later and be like, hey, thanks for hooking me up. So if I see him, it's nothing but love. But
that's great though. At least these people are keeping it cordial, because some people could just go off on a whim and just be like, wow, I don't want anything to do with you, type thing. And even with that too. So what goes into a decision when trying to, I guess, okay, 2 things. What determines your pro? And what determines you getting onto a team?
Depends on the team. For us,
when you get on a team, are you pro? Is that how that works?
Basically start off by giving you boards. Unless you're at that level already. Calvin Hoffler just came on board and he was pro. He beats Nizer at Street League. Yeah. But for Zach Dolan and Christopher Height, it's, hey, can you sell a board? Does this make sense? Because it's not cheap just to give you a board.
Even a blank board I see online is $20 or $30. So and then you put their graphic on it. I mean, and also too, it's when the riders make their boards, do they make it like to the shape and the size that they like? Or is it what you guys push out? Like you can get their model board from 7.5 up to 9, or you can get their graphic on a pool board.
Both.
Both.
So Chris and Zach are currently working on their shapes. So Chris was riding the wood old school boards, but now he's going to ride a flight deck in a shape that he's been working on. So he's had like, I don't know, 4 or 10 different renditions, and he's just trying different ones to figure out what he wants. And then Zach's going like, oh, I want 8/3/8, and so he's getting sent a bunch of different ones plus a different concave. So when you change the concave and the board shape, it's gonna take time just to get used to it.
And that has, when you say the concave, that's like the inner part of the top part of the board. And what effect does
and the tail, and how much the tail points up. And
what effect does a concave, or just those slight tweak of angles in geometry to a skateboard? What is it like? How much of an effect does it have, like on maybe when you're popping or like doing a trick? Like what difference does it make?
It would make a lot of difference depending on
the type
your
of
size of wheel, your trucks, where your trucks are positioned, because that'll give you a different wheelbase depending on what trucks you have. You have Ventures, you're going to have a different wheelbase than if you have Indies. You just change your wheels, it's gonna pop differently as well. So don't just go from 52s to 56. You're gonna notice like, oh, my kickflips are different. What's going on? Different companies have different concaves, so that'll change your kickflip or heel flip, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then the steepness of the tail. I think I was talking to PJ Ladd, and he was going in between trying to figure out his exact like tail shape. I think he said it was 21. And size of board that he want. Like he really worked on his board and worked with people just to get that board shape.
Yeah, and I even know too, with a lot of skaters, God, I'm trying to think of his name right now. He gave me a pair of shoes at Mayberry because I showed up in Nike runners. I forgot my skate shoes, so I was skating in literal like Nike runners, and I went to like go to push. No grip. Just do it. Bah. He came up to me. Was it John something? John. God, what's
John Bradford?
I think maybe he's got like ponytail, longer hair.
Different guy.
Well, when it comes to mind, I'll run it by you after the show. But anyhow, yeah, he gave me some shoes right off his back. He literally just put them on. He's like, "What size are you?" I'm like, 11. He's like, "Oh, I'm 11. Here you go." I was like, "Oh wow, like thanks, bro."
What did he do with your shoes?
Well, my shoes?
No, his shoes.
Oh, he had a bunch in his car.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he grabbed another pair, but he just saw me struggling. Like, I couldn't, I mean, I'm not the greatest skater. I go out, I have fun with it. I can drop into the bowl, do this and that. But, I was trying to do a little street skating. I was trying to, get some speed, but it's not working out. But he has his own shoe, and I'm just, like, completely drawing a blank. I should have wrote some notes on this one, but it all just came to mind. But anyhow, like you said, like a custom like board or a concave or like trying to dial it in, he has his own just like custom shoe where kind of how like every skater like has a certain like geometry they want down there, or like a certain thickness for the little like sole when they rub their foot on the grip tape. And he has his shoes like specifically designed to how he likes to skate and how he wants his shoe to look, and how much, I guess, of even too like on your shoe, like the angle or the way, the shape of it, it can have an effect on how you kick your board or do a kick flip or a heel flip.
No, definitely.
Yeah. And just some more questions here too. Like skate shoes, what's your go-to skate shoe right now? And we'll do now and past. So back in the 80s versus now.
In the 80s was probably Airwalk.
Airwalk?
Maybe some half cabs.
Yeah.
But I'm still skating in half cab. I was skating in Adidas's. Alfonso just sent me some Chevaliers. Yeah.
You get a pretty solid connection on skate shoes right now?
Yeah, pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
And with everything you've done in your career, like what do you have any sponsors, or do you have, like, aside from just working with Powell Peralta, like, do you have anybody that you work with or anything like that?
No. Etnies too. They're pretty nice at skating as well.
I always remember. Do you remember that early 2000s, that fat tongue DC era? Whatever happened to those shoes? Whatever happened to them?
I think they're bringing them back.
I low-key liked them. I had gotten a pair. I remember my mom had found me a pair on Amazon. It was World Industries. The fat top. I mean, I love those things. And I was like, oh, I got to get another pair of these. I could not find them. I don't know if I was not typing in a correct keyword or something, but World Industry, if you're still a company, hook your boy up with a pair of fat silver and blacks.
I think Anthony Shetler's the team manager for World Industries. I don't know if they make shoes anymore, though.
I would love a pair of World Industries. Like when I was in school, I remember I used to have the low cut. I had the white, the white and green leather World Industries.
I didn't even know they had shoes.
Oh, yeah. That was one of my DC and World Industry for me back in the day. Those were some of my favorite skate shoes. And I only rode DC because obviously I'm a big Rob Dyrdek and Ken Block fan. Really big. Ken Block, RIP, you know. I don't know. Once I wore a DC shoe for me, at least, I was just starting to skate. So it was kind of like, yeah, like DC. Like, you know, it was kind of like more of a hype thing. Then I found World Industry shoes. And then when I really was like learning how to skate, I was like, no, I think I like this shoe. Because a DC to me is just a little too wide. I like something that's really like strapped and confined to my foot. Almost like a Van. But if a Van was just a little tighter. And then the reason why, too, I don't wear Vans is they're too thin. I don't. Have you ever skated Vans before?
Yeah, the half caps. They're pretty. They have like a thicker insole now.
Yeah,
they're
and
nice.
didn't Tony Alva have like a designing
I'm sure he did.
contribution in the Van shoe?
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, I live right down the street from the Vans warehouse over in Norwalk, the distribution center. I drive by it all the time. I'm like, oh, Vans, huh? and with skating too right now, and what you have going on, you said there's a contest this weekend?
Yeah,
if you want to maybe just speak on that a little bit before we close off the episode here. Well, what do you guys got going on this weekend?
Well, not us. It's like the Battle of the Barracks. So
Battle of the Barracks.
Yeah, game of skate.
Corrected. But he'll be there. So what? So is it pretty much like Battle of the Barracks? Like all the teams, right? Isn't going up against each other, or
no? It's just single guys doing a game of skate. So right now there's 4 people left. I forget the 4. Chris Cole, Jamie Griffin.
Any Powell guys?
No. There was 2 earlier, but they got knocked out.
Who knocked them out?
Jamie Griffin knocked out Zach. I forget the others. There's so many people skating in it. It's like such a heavy
competition. And what was the trick that knocked Zach out? Do you remember?
Dude, I don't know. Jamie's got so many crazy tricks, and so does Zach. It's insane.
I was actually, before I came here, I was eating breakfast, and I was showing my wife Zach. I was like, look at this. Look at this guy Zach right here. She was like, oh my God. And like, what does he do if he falls? I'm like, he just gets up. Because there was just a couple shots where he's like pretty high off the ground, and my wife, she's very, very conservative. You know, we just had a baby and stuff, so she's super protective, and so she's always like, you know, just the mom in her now.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so it's crazy. But with Zach though, so you said he's almost pro, or
he's working on his board now. I don't know if he started working on his. I don't know if either of them.
And where did you guys find Zach, or how did you come across Zach?
Zach, I saw skating at Vans, and I hit him up, and that we just started building a relationship.
Yeah, and so you kind of, when you're out and about, not only are you working and not only are you doing your thing, you're also seeking talent for the skate team.
Always looking for new guys, especially if they're around the LA area. We can have them come out and skate and see what they're like to hang out.
And who's the veteran right now on the team, like the longest tenured skater?
Steve Caballero.
Stevie.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
he's the oldest and longest team rider on there.
My dad actually, back in the 80s, this was Joe Lopes at Joe Lopes' house in San Jose, the first ever jam. My dad, KT, Chris Cook was there. They were judges, and they sat on Joe Lopes' house, and Stevie Caballero was in that skate contest at the Joe Lopes ramp with Rob Roscoff. Who else was there? Dwayne was there. It's a video on YouTube. I'll pull it up for you so you can check it out. It's pretty trippy. But that's so Stevie's been on the team just like since when?
Dude, since he was like 14? 15,
yeah, right? Like
13?
like pretty much OG, right? Yeah, like he's just been Powell Peralta since the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so with him though, what is shout out Steve Caballero, of course, legend. What is he like, what does he bring to the team, to the young guys? Like, obviously they look up to him, you know, he's a pioneer. What does he do for the Powell Peralta skate team?
It's, I mean, showing longevity on there that you can do
Determination.
Yeah, do it for so long, especially at his age.
He shreds.
He still has a board, a shoe, action figures.
What?
He's had a bunch of action figures.
He's got action figures?
Yeah.
Damn.
His house he's got his own surfboard, like all motorbikes, whatever. It's insane.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's had such
Action
a
figures.
longevity in skateboarding.
Yeah, so that's awesome though. And are there any other like long tenured riders or skaters on the team? Like not like Stevie, but are there anybody that's been on there like 10 plus years?
Yeah, like Mike McGill, Frankie Hill. I'm definitely missing a bunch.
Yeah. And you said you guys have 35 people on your team right now?
I think there's 35 people on the team page if I count, and then another 10 to 15 phone numbers or people that I have in my
And is there
phone.
a cap
To
to the team? Like,
maybe right now is kind of we're just kind of looking for, if it's somebody, it's got to be somebody that like
gnarly.
that we would like to turn pro sooner than later.
Yeah.
So
Is that kind of the motive right now with Zach? Or
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Zach was already on and going pro.
But you guys are kind of elevating him and kind of getting that like more backing to push him
Yes.
to the next level.
Yeah.
And so like too with the boards, like, you know, my uncle, he always told me like how the board sales will work out. Like, do riders make money on their board sales? Like, is it a good thing for riders? Are they making money? Like, how are these skaters getting paid?
So it depends on the skater.
Yeah.
If they're marketable, they're gonna sell product.
Yeah.
If they're doing the work, it'll definitely come. But there's definitely more pros not making money than pros making money from their board sales.
Yeah, exactly. And with that too, do you guys do they get merch? Do they do like t-shirts, hoodies, socks? Or...
Yeah, so Cab and Andy both have sweaters and t-shirts. So does McGill.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the guy, and if he's selling, we'll try to make merch. And you know, if they don't sell, then we can't really keep making that merch.
Yeah, exactly. And so obviously the Stevie merch will sell. But yeah, no, it's been a very interesting conversation today, my guy. Thank you for coming out. And, you know, I just want to remind everyone once again, we're on KQBH LP, Los Angeles, California, 101.5 FM, a community service of Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory, broadcasting live on your FM dial and streaming on lpfm.la. Today's been fun. We got to talk about a little skateboarding history, skating over in London, over in, 89, right?
Mm-hmm,
89, over in the 80s and everything like that. But guys, if you have any comments or anything you would like to share with the episode, your thoughts are always appreciated. And is there any final thoughts or anything for the LA Lifestyle audience? Maybe your social media or anything you would like to share before we pop off air here today?
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
I guess you can find me on Instagram, just Deville Nunes, DEVILLENUNES.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a weird name, so I spell it.
I was butchering your name forever.
Everybody does. I just say Tom when I go to Starbucks.
What's up, Tom? I'm gonna call you Tom now. What's up, Tom?
It's way easier.
Tom. Oh my god, that's such a generic name. So
it makes it so much quicker.
yeah. And then, have you ever given them your name though, and then they try to write it on a Starbucks cup?
Mm-hmm. No, it's easy
Never
to mess
works.
up, yeah.
Never works.
It's usually Devil or
Devil.
something. Yeah. I've got some writers in Brazil. They call me Devil.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's funny.
It all works out, you know. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in today. It has definitely been it's been a fun time. It's been a great time. But we're just gonna ride out with a little music here today to end the broadcast for y'all.
You'll have to pick whatever you want.